Rolling camera.
Rolling. Here you go. Take one, marker. In a nutshell, what's Eddington?
Eddington is the story of a sheriff who wants to be mayor. Eddington is a very small town in New Mexico, in America. I guess, I don't know.
Does it help to talk about the story first, kind of get into...
How would I say? Yeah, something like, Eddington is like a test chamber where all the people are like these particles that are going off in different directions, and when they hit each other, they, careen in new directions, and that kind of creates this new logic that comes to possess each of them. And it leads them all into, ever more intense beliefs and convictions, and that leads to violence because there's no common ground to stand on. It is a complicated place. I wanted to make a really good film about the Southwest because it's a place I know. I'm from New Mexico. I spent my adolescence there. My parents still live there. And it's a place I have a lot of feelings about. While I was writing the film, I drove around New Mexico going to different small towns, pueblos, and I met with sheriffs, police, public officials, mayors. I interviewed a lot of people, and a lot of the characters in this film are based on some of those people.
We need to free each other's hearts. And that's why I'm running for mayor. Mayor of Eddington.
I was walking around taking pictures, and I was like, what's the real town and what's the set? I was walking around literally like a tourist, taking all these pictures, and I didn't even realize some of it was set decorating and some of it was just Truth or Consequences.
Right, yeah.
And I didn't realize that I was standing in front of a building-size photo of Ted Garcia going like this, of myself. Somebody drove by and they were like, ah, ha, ha, and I was like, ha, 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 and I was like, oh, that kind of a thing. It was fun.
We shot so much of the film in Truth or Consequences, and this was my first time working with Elliot Hostetter, who's the production designer. He went out there long before we started even pre-production, just to start soaking in the environment.
Excuse me, guys.
Truth or Consequences was the last place I came. It has some very specific geography that lays out really well for the town. It's larger than Eddington is supposed to be, but the older historic part of the town is really separated from the rest, so it feels like a small town. The hill and the water tower were such a huge part of it for me, and also just the light, and there's something kind of particularly beautiful here.
Nah, the day that got me, bro, I'm not even gonna lie. The day that got me, I saw the tumbleweed rolling through the thing. I said, no way. I said, no way, this can't be real. I had to literally look around like, did somebody see that? Like,
They did that for you, by the way. There was a guy with a fan blowing it. Like, make him feel like he's in a Western.
Yeah.
When I was doing press a long time ago, they're like, so you're doing a Western with Ari? And I was like, it's not a Western.
Yeah.
And then the script said, a COVID Western. It did,
on the page, that's right.
It really is a Western. Yeah. There's really the kind of tension and violence in the sort of Western way. And also, because it's, the mayor, like fighting to run this town, you're the king of the town, or you're the sheriff who's in charge, and very classic Western sort of tropes. But everything is very Ari here. Asturian.
Asturian.
Can we call it Asturian?
Yeah.
We've when men stand off, we've got like an argument on the corner of an intersection that could be a little like Sergio Leone, but Ari's version, our version.
Look, Joe, 6 feet.
Cut. Okay, well, let's do a little wind test. Okay, guys, quietly, please. We're gonna do a little wind test. Bring up the wind. All right, bring up the wind. Oh.
I just remember that like a storm blew in. We were shooting, and it wasn't the kind of thing, oh, a storm blew in, we're setting up, and a storm is blowing in. No, Ari called action.
Here we go. Roll set. on, please. Rolling. And action.
Your captain and your chief deputy took jobs in Rio Rancho. You can't keep your own office going, but you're gonna run mine? Leave your mess here and start a whole new one.
Cut. Cutting.
And we had to play the scene, and in the playing of a take, a storm blew in.
It's New Mexico. It's pretty standard New Mexico.
Action.
Let's just let the voters decide.
Very Western vibes, and a little Shakespeare.
The Western is a very interesting genre to me. It's sort of the national genre, Westerns. They're so much about forging new societies and the heroic myth of America, like the beautiful dream of it and the building of something.
We can bring this place back. We can build it back up.
It feels to me like we're living through the collapse of that system that has been getting built up over the last 250 years. I wanted the film to reflect like this new atmosphere, this new environment where everything is so fractured, and to almost make a film that's, sort of schizophrenic.
Hey, Adam, you want to walk with me? Sure. I'll just show you what the camera's going to do. Just follow me. So we're seeing directly all of this.
It feels to me that it's about how humiliating it is to be living a life as if you're in a Western. It's about the death of that trope making any kind of sense as a life. People that are following the logic of being in a Western are so damaged by the end of it.
The Western is also interesting to talk about in terms of Joe, because I think he's seen all of those films. He's living in a Western. He's a lawman, he loves his community, loves his wife, he's a man of integrity and a man of action.
He's seeking, really, plainly put, love. And it's ironic because when he first gets this kind of outside acknowledgement is from a character, Fred, who he basically aligns himself with by taking off his mask in the store. And this is this kind of transformative moment.
Ready?
Okay.
That's fine.
Gets a Facebook ping where Fred writes there's one last hero left, and that's the kind of catalyst for him. And it's ironic because it's what kind of starts this division in the town.
That's really good. I love you.
I haven't seen Joaquin do anything like this. Joe is so vulnerable and kind of dopey and credulous. The character is just alive to me. And that's something that Joaquin is really able to do. Create a real, vivid, complete person.
Yeah, when I read the script, I found myself laughing out loud. And when Ara and I were working through it, we were just dying laughter. But I kept saying, do not let me laugh at any of this when we're actually shooting.
Right.
And that was just what was most important, is to not distance yourself from the character. To them, it's not funny.
Where's your mask, Sheriff?
I'm outside. There's a window between us.
Cut. That's a cut.
But it's serious. And I think in those moments, it was serious to all of us during that time, right? It wasn't, okay. But during COVID, there was a period where I think during that summer of 2020, we didn't have the self-awareness to realize how absurd we were.
I'm not too precious with this stuff. It's an action scene, so it's just about energy.
When I gave Joaquin the script, he got very annoyed at all the things that he was gonna have to do physically.
All right, so crawling here, rises at the cab around here.
Assured me that he wasn't gonna do them.
The bullet will come from where that last cone is.
And that was the case with Bo. He said, this time I'm not gonna do it. And then he ended up doing all of it. He throws his whole self into what he's doing.
Starts running and then just catches a little bit too much momentum and falls.
And in this film, you know, there were a lot of like very intense physical demands on him.
The angle starting here, tracking over here to follow his back down there. And then we'll have a camera down there waiting for him.
Everything he does is bolstered by that image he has of himself, which is informed by all those stories he's been told. And that same conviction and righteousness runs through his rival, Ted Garcia. And he's living in his own dream world.
Ted is not an idiot, not dumb, but he's got people smarter than him that are paving the way for what his ambitions are, or his ambitions are being fed to him through the agenda of others. And I feel like it's a little bit more transparent to somebody like Joe.
Most of the characters in this film are selfish. I mean, their motives are self-serving.
We're at 24 because you want to get this. You want to get the impression of the space. There was also the shot, you know, that is just a pan to a wide, which would be a very wide lens.
24 is very.
Yeah, but 24 is. I mean, we want this to be about the space too. So, 24 might be right. I mean, honestly, if we do something like this, it might be a 17. You know, to get the space.
I think there's a real singular thing happening with Ari. There is a real personal stamp on every piece of what he's creating.
'18 works too. 18 or 20. Let's get it on the camera, and then we'll decide what looks better on the monitor between the 18 and the 20.
Okay, guys, quietly, please. Quick safety meeting about what's going to happen.
Whether I have it right or not, in terms of Eddington, what Ari has written, it spoke very, very deeply into like the deepest place of what my anxieties were, as far as like how out of control, how further separate, how extreme a complex circumstance would be, rather than led into a place of healing, but into a place of fracturing and more divisiveness and more sort of like psychological and even physical destruction.
I'm sorry.
I did go through that. I did.
Eric, you should be able to bring. I'm so sorry. Watch the blood on the floor, guys. We're gonna roll on some balls, yeah?
I was like, what story are you telling, and what is the vision, and what is the tone, and how do you want me to do it? And Ari was like, how do you want to do it? And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm an adult. I should be able to answer these questions.
This next take, this will be great. Here we go. Indeed, come on. Very quiet, please. Thank you. Action. Eric, you should. And action. Eric, you should be able. Cut. The cut. Let's do one more there. Eric, you should be. Cut. Watch your step, guys. It was a pretty big spray.
Yeah, for me, the process was that I was able to discover new, for lack of a better word, sound all pretentious and shit, just like to find different colors of the character as we were shooting. So the first couple weeks, I was primarily with Michael and Luke and sheriffs and deputies, kind of what that world was like.
Here we go. Sheriff. This for real?
Yes.
Yo, what you said, man? You already know what time it is. We're here in Eddington. This is the sheriff's office. You know what I'm saying? Come inside. Let me show you what's going on. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You got any change? It doesn't matter, because it don't work anyway. You get me? This is where the magic happens. And this is where I've been basically living for the past few weeks, trying to get used to, you know, how a deputy kind of works. They very rarely have their feet up, but I know a couple guys that do. Obviously, my character is a sharpshooter, but this is Joe's record here. He got all headshots, as you can see. Mad. Like, he's too cold. But I am actually better than Joaquin in real life, just saying. And obviously, this is our slogan ideas. That guy done majority of these, to be honest. But this one's my favorite one, because obviously, the mayor is called Ted Garcia, and Garcia. I don't know, it just made me laugh. I'm stupid, don't worry. Yeah, I guess you guys can go now. I'm gonna get some work done. But where is my harmonica? See, props just be moving stuff, man. This is crazy. Love. Hello, Sheriff's Department.
After like 2 weeks, like, okay, I think I'm starting to get this. And then Pedro showed up, and there was like this whole new energy. I'd like forgotten that was part of the movie, like, you know, because you just get in this tunnel, and I don't know all of your films, but I know I texted you this. He was doing something that I'd never seen him do before, so that helped me find a different aspect of my character, and then Emma and Austin showed up once Pedro left, and then I was discovering what my home life was like.
It's preposterous that the movie continued without me.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you still there for? I've gone.
Yeah.
Come with me.
Do you need to put a line for kit rental in there?
Sorry, these are your noise canceling headphones.
Oh, thank you.
Just one thing to note.
Let's start trying them, guys. Clearing that corner, guys. Last look.
He and Louise had an interesting sort of relationship for a long time, I think. And so you're sort of seeing what's the opposite of evolution? Devolution?
Do it again. Action. Break. Okay, now with both hands, I'm sorry. Thank you. Action.
We spent a long time scouting for this house.
And cut. Thank you. That's good. That's good. Thank you.
What made this house Joe's house and what was so particular to the film was the smallness of it, but with expansive views.
The house was just perfect, and part of what made it perfect was the fact that it was so claustrophobic and tight, because you have these three people living in there on top of each other during lockdown.
You can see just throughout the house, there's a lot of Dawn stuff on top of what they've already had.
What? She can't just email this, huh?
She's kind of infiltrated and made the place her own. All throughout the house, there are Louise's mysterious dolls. You get a sense it has to do with her hidden trauma.
Whoa. What's this one about?
That was just an image I had. I don't know.
Very weird. I like it.
Yeah, Louise's dolls are based on drawings I made.
Ari's films are sort of like Louise's dolls, you know? It's like they sort of come out of him in this like warped, strange, very unique way, and they feel very specific to him. Ari has been, you know, sending me drawings of dolls for the past, 6 months or so. They're all clearly, for the most part, a version of Louise. They have, the red hair, and it's, obviously imagery evoking a feeling of what's going on within her.
Action.
And camera.
Joe?
Yeah, hey.
Louise is such a kind of ghost in her own life, to herself in many ways. She's a specter that ends up haunting Joe.
Very quiet, guys.
There are a lot of people that say they have the answers, and I think when someone feels lost, it can be a very welcoming environment to be sort of swallowed up into an ideology.
Ari said some abstract things to me like, I see Vernon as an embodiment of the internet.
If the movie is inspired by anything, it's the internet.
Can you elaborate? Can you say why?
No.
Yeah.
It's better not to.
For me, that kind of just sparked imagination of like going down these rabbit holes of the internet, and like I listened repeatedly to Bo Burnham's "Welcome to the Internet" song.
I love that song so much.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
The internet's full of these dichotomies, you know, and you can go to extremes on either end. So even the music that I was listening to, I'd listen to like Wagner and then Nickelback. And those became like Vernon's songs.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
Austin Butler showed up for a few days and was so prepared and had clearly been living with the character for so long. And Austin is just really game and really serious about what he's doing.
It's interesting because from one angle you could see him as the most benevolent force, and from somebody else's point of view you may see him as the most malevolent force. We came up with this at dinner last night.
Yeah.
So
I like the benevolent.
Yeah, this is the one time I'll say it. How about
No,
that?
you should always say it.
Just say it every interview.
First time that I saw him as Vernon Peake was, he had to do some stuff that was on video, so he had to like be standing up and doing the final preaching in his beautiful white suit, being kind of like the apostle. And it was so on fire.
It's arrogant. It's the arrogance of self-pity, bolstered by the illusion that you are the only victim. And it keeps you from being an agent of actual change. Collective lives. A collective that could just as easily unite and rise up and fight.
Cut. It's a cut.
In the end, her pregnant and in this entire movement with Vernon, with new hair and covered in tattoos. I thought it was very scary, but very sweet too. Like everything in this movie, you could see it one way or the other.
Ari and I are old friends, and I wanted to come out here and watch him shoot a film, and he immediately enlisted me to play a deranged cult member. I'm a cartoonist, that's my actual job, not a full-time extra. Chicken fat was a term used in the early issues of Mad magazine to describe this density of detail where you can look at every square inch of a frame and find a joke or something. It's I think of it as a very generous form of art, and Ari has adopted that as his own.
Okay. Yeah, maybe something like I would have.
That's what you would have?
Yeah, I have one of these.
That's pretty intense.
We've seen them in those protests, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's do it.
This one?
I love our scene where like we're all walking down the street to the protest. That's a very Western sort of, but we all look like idiots instead of really cool cowboys.
We're on day 43, the second day of protests. We have about 100 background, about 55 young protesters, 4 Antifa, 1 Proud Boy. We have 30 townspeople, 2 camera ops, and 1 MAGA guy.
One more without.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just.
No worries.
I just want to get one right without.
I just want to make sure that you get it if you want it.
Yeah, no, I want one in there. Yeah.
Hey, Ash, stand by again. 1 more without.
It was super interesting to work with Ari and the props team in order to have authenticity when it came to the different characters that he created and their political development and their political orientation.
Well, Anna, the protest coordinator, gave the production such a big, helpful tool, being able to walk up to Anna and ask questions, having that on set, you know, the legalities of protesting is really, really helpful to have Anna here.
You're talking right now on stolen land, and you're calling for the funding and abolition of the corrupt and homicidal police state.
I just feel like there's a layer of dust in my lungs. It is so dry. So dry. The amount of chapstick I've had to put on is crazy. I feel exhausted.
It's been weird doing these protest scenes and the masks and the signs and and I'm like, oh yeah, that was, wow. When I read this script initially, I thought it was just a full-blown comedy. I thought it was hilarious. And it wasn't until I got here and I was like, we're not approaching it that way though.
You don't mind the beginning,
I didn't love it, but I don't know when we'll cut into it. We'll cut into it probably a little bit, but
yeah.
I mean, Darius is total legend. When I heard he was doing this, I was like, what a really great combo, Ari and Darius.
Yeah, Darius Kanji, legendary cinematographer.
Because you can't tell anything on this monitor. You can't tell the truth on this monitor. Be careful of the movie you're watching on this. It's not the same movie.
We got very close on the film and really saw eye to eye on most things, and he's a very kind of poetic and deep man. Yeah, I really love him.
lock onto it for at least.
It feels like everything's in decline, like our critical faculties, our ability to distinguish between what's true.
Jesus!
We're not just sliding, back into like superstition. It feels like we're being pushed, whatever happened there in 2020. If you zoom out far enough, it's pretty clear that certain people benefited from it. It feels like we're all stranded, and there are no answers anymore. There are no stories being told to us about what's happening. I wanted the film to kind of be gripped by the paranoia of conspiracy-obsessed characters. Every character is sort of living in a different movie.
Look at this.
And so, how do you make something coherent that is about the incoherency of, like, this miasma?
This is gematria, ancient practice of coding numbers into words. It's a simple...
Just talking about these characters being informed by their media intake. Joe is somebody who, he's 50 years old. He would have been in his 20s in the 90s when all those great action movies came out. And at the end of the film, he gets to sort of live in an action movie, shooting at phantoms. A species can only survive if it can accurately detect threats. And if all these imaginary problems consume all of our thoughts, very real problems, will swallow us up.
In the height of the sniper, where you have the two gunshots, one of which is gonna get him.
Tonight, we are shooting the big finale. So, a lot of action, guns, and blood. A lot of that.
Fire in the hole, guys. We're doing a test fire.
A lot of that stuff, it's editing. It's the way that Ari is shooting it.
Cool. All right, end of test.
There's a scene where I burst out of a gun store with a BFG slaying people, and it's ridiculous.
We were very lucky that Truth or Consequences allowed us to do what we did because we were kind of shooting blanks around town, and he really is shooting that machine gun.
Two cameras, Emma.
Weapons is hot. Fire in the hole. Here we go. And action.
Back to one.
That's it. Cut. Cutting.
The scene takes place here at this Gunther's gun store. It's right behind us. Joaquin makes a run for it and gets into there and gets a display weapon, which happens to be a 240 Bravo. For this scene alone, we got 4,000 rounds and we're down to about 1,200. Keep Cowboys his way out of here.
Back to one. How long is the reset? Two cameras, Emma.
In the moment, I was taking it seriously. I was like, there are people that are trying to kill me, and I must defend myself, and I must defend this town.
After you fall, and then you kind of are like propping yourself up and keeping your head.
Yeah, this is for the shot, the next shot. I kind of lower it like that, and then okay, just blast it out.
All right, guys, here we go. Watch the blood, please.
Bang! Ah! One more. Bring the gun a little bit lower on this one. Freeze! Wait! Cut.
That's it. That's the real picture wrap. Gonna head home to Canada now. Just remember, you're one decision away from a completely different life.
I actually had one of the hardest days already because Butterfly just learned something horrific and I had to learn something horrific. So by the time I got to my hotel room, I was so depleted, so tired, so exhausted. I felt my cheek and there's tears on my cheek. And this has never happened in my entire career, and it happened on this project. I am not complaining. I felt like I got a little stronger. In the end, I thank Ari for the suffering. It just made me that much stronger as an artist.
What the fuck is going on here?
Girl, I'm struggling. You're doing good.
So guys, quick overview of tonight, but essentially we'll be starting with the car getting blown apart. So speeds. 3, 2, 1, go!
The headlight's cool, the mirror coming off is cool, this thing popping. There's some nice detail in there.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay, super. Very nice, guys. That'll do it.
If the film is about anything, it's really about a data center being built and this other crisis being incubated in a lab. And all these stories in this film are really just more training data for this new thing that's coming. That's actually the only thing that's happening.
I think Ari has a deep talent for really scaring the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Asterion.
Asterion stuff.
Sitting up, please, Blaine.
Let's do another one. Back to one.
Keep the flames up.
Well, you know, I think the thing that's really insidious about this moment is that it's very scary and dangerous and like catastrophic, and at the same time it's absurd and ridiculous and like impossible to take seriously. And so the film should be scary and upsetting and dramatic and funny and stupid. It's rated R.